Welcome home. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. We are positively into the holidays. It's the most wonderful time. I did some singing with Calvin Statham, my 58-year middle school teacher on the Maryland Crab Cake Tour last week. We had Gina Shock on last week. We've got football around here. I am out of lottery tickets. It's the end. This is my last Ravens ticket. The Maryland Crab Cake Tour, presented by the Maryland Lottery in conjunction with Jiffy Lube Multi-Care, comes back to life on January the 7th. We call that playoff week here. We'll be in Harford County. We'll be up at Lib's Grill giving away fresh tickets. Magic 8 Ball. Magic 8 Ball. The Ravens going to win the Super Bowl. Who knows? Maybe the Orioles will win the World Series. I have two young ladies here who are hoping for both of those things. They are Baltimoreans like me. One has escaped. She doesn't come on the show very often. They are our partners at the Curio Wellness and Far and Daughter. We welcome back the defending champion sisters. You know it must be the holidays. Wendy Bronfein is a repeat offender around here. We have her on often to talk about cannabis education, as well as football and baseball and rock and roll from time to time. But it's very infrequent that we get Rebecca Bronfein on together for the holidays. This must be special. There must be like a sale going on or something. How you guys doing? A pleasure to have you on. And it is nice. I know your dad's in the other room. You're yelling about cameos and stuff. Families get together. It's a beautiful time of the year, and it's nice to have both of you on.
Thank you. It's
I hear
nice to
that.
be here. It's
Hear
nice
that
to
in
be here.
unison there together. So listen, I got to give both of you some credit, and I don't know who comes up with this, but I've been in the store a couple of times, right? And we have rewards points that are expiring that are unto foreign daughter and purchases, and then we have these QR codes and all this stuff. But I must say, you send an email along. And this speaks to my nerdity, or I mean, some people think I'm cool. My hair's down and I'm rocking out with Gina Shock. I'm cool. But then, like, I get an email with BOGO, Bogota, and I see BOGO, and I'm like, I don't even know what it means, but I'm like, it looks big because it's big points, like in the newspapers, and I'm like, buy one, get one, and I'm like, no wonder I never heard of that. That's a hell of a sale. So it kind of got my attention, but I did not know. I mean, maybe I knew, but I didn't know what BOGO was. So congratulations for bringing an old dog to new tricks. And when I found out it was like buy one, get one free, I was like, I like this deal. So happy holidays. You guys really have been running a bunch of sales, and I guess either one of you can speak to that. Rebecca, I'll start with you because I never get to have you on, but
Yeah.
you guys are like selling stuff and some prices have gone down. There's just been a little bit of an adjustment, I think, if people haven't been in or have never been in.
Yeah, I think cannabis is like any other consumer product good where there's trends through the holidays where people are looking for discounts or deals so that we can get our products into stockings. We can get them into people's holiday gift bags, wherever it might be, or the Secret Santa, a white elephant. So we're following the trend of major mainstream retail, and in stores like Far and Daughter, either in Timonium or up in Elkton, and some of our premier partners around the state, having those buy one, get one frees are really designed for people who are curious about something else. So like if you always have a mango sativa or an orange sativa 5 milligram terp chew, and you've always had your eye on like the berry zest indica version in that same line, this is an opportunity for you to be able to try it at no cost. And then we hope that the next time you come back, you're like, wow, that was great. It made me feel good. I got what I expected out of it. And now I'm going to add it to my cannabis regimen there on out.
What if I just like orange enough to get orange twice and I don't really like the
Then
mango? Is that all
double your
right?
pleasure, double your fun.
Like you got to put the pineapple into something that doesn't put me to bed because I sleep okay. We've talked about that. But there's all sorts of things, but Rebecca, because I have you on, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna haze you because I only get you on once a year. You
Okay.
know of my affinity for the Saks trunks that I wear, and I brought the pink on
Yes.
purpose because of this crazy Edie Parker pinky line thing. And I'm gonna say this: I became a Saks customer because of Black Friday sales, and I remember when
Mhm.
Black Friday lasted like a day and you had to
One
get in
day.
line 4 in the morning, line up at the Target, beat up people to get TVs and stuff like the sales that for your industry, I think specifically, as well as other places, I guess to compete with shopping and shipping and all of this, it feels like once the sale starts right around the middle of November, at least for what I've seen from your business and where you are, and everything's sort of new in the cannabis space
Mhm.
and for Curio and Foreign Daughter and people coming in and certainly adult use second Christmas. But the sales kind of begin and they don't stop. And I think that that's an interesting play for America and I think for what people are selling.
Well, I think the sacks, because of you, I now have to buy much more expensive
Oh, this
underwear
is
for
why
my
you wait for a
husband.
sale. This
Well,
is
I did, but like any good brand, I bought it on sale. He loves it. And now I'm willing to pay like the $5 or $10 more in order to keep it, in the clean drawer.
comfort is
But in
king.
our
Comfort is king.
household, we pair them with the O bedroom berry 5 milligrams.
See, I knew it was going to come back to sex because I have two married women on. It's the holidays because I went onto your website and the first
Uh-huh.
thing I see here now, and this is really a tribute to you, is what are you trying to solve? And there was like a whole list of things across. Sex was in the middle, but it was like sleep, and it was, and
Yeah.
I would bring it up, but the front of your website has it right now, and I know Valentine's Day, everything pink around there comes back to OH. And we
Yes.
talked about it last Valentine's Day. It
Hmm.
is the holidays here, and we're going into the dead of winter. So people don't even know this about cannabis. When I bring this up, that there's a gummy for this, people are
Yeah.
like, I remember the blue pill, but that was so 20 years and a headache and a prescription ago. You guys
This is
have
much
a
easier.
yeah, tell me what my audience needs to know because we haven't talked about the O product in months, and I was led to believe it was going to be like eggnog and sort of go away in March, but it's really this is a
Well,
12-month product now.
originally it was intended to have a seasonality to it, but the response was so positive that it was like, give the people what they want, and what they want is cannabis in the bedroom. But I'll give Wendy the credit because the origin was an intimacy oil that she found and said, we have this golden strawberry flower that has this terpene profile that has shown to help with arousal. And so it's not that it's going to make you erect, it's that it actually brings down your anxiety so you're more relaxed and therefore you're more easily aroused because at least for women you're not all in your head. So it started with the intimacy oil and then it's evolved into a topical, which is the oil, a vape, which is featuring the golden strawberry terpene. So if you prefer to inhale your cannabis, you have a vape and you have a pre-roll product that's all under the O line. And then we added the O bedroom berry to satisfy the consumers who want to have an edible product to get those same effects. So it's basically something for everyone, but it's meant to be an additive to your daily cannabis regimen. So you start with your good days, your functional cannabis, where you have low THC, but high THCV or CBD. So you're solving for anxiety or stress relief. Then you get into the afternoon and you take like a pineapple terpene chew. So it's not intended to make you go to sleep, but like chill, like you're cooking dinner, you're getting your kids to bed, you're taking the edge off. Then once you have privacy, whether you're with your partner or you're by yourself, that's when you literally rub on the intimacy oil or take the chew. And then after that's done, you pop a good night chew or a good night tablet, and that just sends you off to dreamland. So all of these things complement each other and work with your body in different ways to help you achieve like the best day ever with cannabis.
Well, but I dare say that if the O part of it went well, you won't need the good night.
That's
Well,
very true.
yeah, by the
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
to
I
the
just
awesome.
shamelessly want to get more Curio product on your nightstand.
Look, at the end next week, we're going to see all the people we lost in 2024, and Dr. Ruth Westheimer's one of them. So we need to get in here, and we need to talk about
Honor
these
her.
things. Wendy Bronfein is here. Rebecca Bronfein is here. They are the married Bronfein sisters for the holidays, and they are, of course, from the Curio family and Foreign Daughter. If you pass the dispensary in our community here, York Road, just south of Timonium, stop in, say hello. There's lots of fun things there, but lots of things including, I mean, I want to talk about the Move product, but I want to talk with you specifically because Wendy, I want to bring you back in this because there was like an anecdotal story you told me last year about this, the original name, and we always kid about. and Becca, since last time I've had you on, Cheetah Piss winds up to be my strain with you. It couldn't be Blissful Wizard, gotta be Cheetah Piss. And I'm saying maybe we need to rename that. You rename the Golden Strawberry. Maybe we need a Nasty Nestor strain or something like that. The Deep
Oh, I
Thinking
like
Nestor.
that.
I don't know, but the Golden Strawberry is the O. And Wendy, I want you to bring that story because I think there is some anecdotal stuff about medical and your location, and there not being a lot of places. You were the first dispensary I ever went in that had an educational room and a chalkboard, and it's like that's what we do here is trying to educate people. But apparently, you had some people come in that had used this product that had found some arousal and stimulation, and I guess from a scientific and a cannabis, a can
Cannabinoid.
cannabinoid. Thank you. Yeah. Perspective, a scientific perspective, you started to move some products in that way based on what you're hearing from people and getting feedback.
Yeah, it started internally with some of the staff. They started talking about, and they were male staff. They started talking about a Viagra-like effect with the strain. But I think you're referring to there was an older couple who shopped at the dispensary, and this was early stages of medical. And they would come in and they would pick up their golden strawberry. And at this time, it was only flour. That was we may have had an
Was
vape.
there any like hint? Was it energetic? What was the profile of this of this strain that led into this
Well,
intimacy platform?
it was like the yin yang of the effects for male versus female. So the male was a little bit more like the traditional blue pill effect, and the female, what was Rebecca speaking to, like this, real, you're sort of relaxed and you have heightened
See, I'm not a
sensitivity.
female. I would just say
Mhm.
warmth. Can I say that? Is that fine?
Warmth? Is that what you
Warmth?
said?
Warmth. Yes.
Warmth.
Is that the right word?
No, I think it's more that your mind is quieted, right? So you're sort of present in the moment, but also that your body has a heightened
Yeah,
sensitivity factor. So the touch and all of that
Is
is
it a
is
hybrid then?
it
it is.
is, yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. So but they would come in and they would be very giddy and happy, and then they would tell the staff about how they were there for it and
We're
when they were
all
going to
looking
eat
for
that
special
night. And
sauce, right? I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
what to
And they
say,
were like in
right?
their 70s,
yeah,
right?
they were much
Yeah.
older. Like, yeah,
You
they
both
were.
have a picture of them because the minute you started talking about it, when this is a sister thing, it's why I
Oh,
don't hang out with my sister, my wife and her sister at the holidays. It's why they're all baking together. You started smiling, Becky. You knew these people, yes?
no, I
I don't know
know.
that we only know that they were like a 70-year-old
Yeah, we
couple.
just know they
So
were much
in
older.
my
That's it.
brain,
Yeah,
I have a picture of who they might
right.
be, but
But
like I
not
don't
your
know
parents.
who.
No, no,
So
Honestly, in my brain, I picture the old couple from the movie Dirty Dancing who stole the wallets with because they talk about them and they're like this little old couple. But that is, I just picture like this cute little old couple who is like, we gotta get it. Now we're going out to
well,
dinner.
that's a
And
Dr. Ruth thing, probably,
right.
right?
yeah,
We're all, I mean, she's still alive. She was 100 years old 50 years ago
That's
when
amazing.
I was 19. Wendy Bronfein, Rebecca Bronfein are here. They are the sisters of Curio and Curio Wellness and Foreign Daughter, reminding everybody to, the holidays responsibly. I know you wanted to talk shoes specifically, and I was talking BOGO and like all of that, but I literally did. And I do want to talk to pricing and whatnot in general.
Mhm.
Am I nuts in saying shoes have the prices have started to recede
Yes.
a bit, or I'm not crazy in saying
No,
that?
you're not. You're not. The market dynamics as the adult use market has come online in Maryland, so we're about 18 months into it now. We've gone to 2x the number of brands in Maryland just in the edibles space. We're somewhere around like 47, I think, brands of edibles that you could find across the state. And so all of that new competition, one of the easiest ways to get shelf space in any retail store is to give it to your customers either at cost or at a very low discounted rate. And so what you're seeing is those new brands come online and those discounts are being passed along to the consumer. So the best case scenario from a running of any business would be that you get those products in at a discount, but you maintain that 100 milligrams in a bag is around $20 to $25. When the products start getting on menu at 12, 15, 17.50, the all the other brands in the state, we've basically had to come down in our prices because the buyers at the dispensaries, the consumers, have now been retrained that 100 milligrams should cost them $15 or should cost them 17, as opposed to historical prices of 20 to 25. So it's an unfortunate dynamic, because where it's hard is that for products like ours, where we spend a lot of time researching formulas, researching efficacy, we do patient trials before we commercialize anything to make sure that if we say it's going to make you feel a certain way, it does. If we say it's going to taste great, it does. We have premium packaging, for example, to ensure the freshness of our chews. And we should be charging a premium for all of those extra benefits of our product. But because there's other brands have effectively raced to the bottom, it's harder and harder for us to maintain those prices, which is why you see some of these more aggressive discounts.
Well, I think it's one thing to throw something into a brownie or a chocolate or anything, but you guys
Mhm.
do really special things with these terpene chews that are just
Yeah.
way different than it gets me high, it puts me to sleep, it feels like a glass of wine, it takes the edge, all of those THC oriented things, but this is a different thing you do with terpene chews that's really unto you. I don't see anything like this in any other brand in our state. I don't get out to Colorado or California to run around to see what other people are doing.
Mhm.
But I always think of you guys as, really top of class with all the products you're doing. But you do things that are out in front, whether it's GI, which we've talked to your dad and we've talked, and you can go do all this research at Curio Wellness. You can go read about this stuff. But these are unique and different
Mhm.
than it gets me high.
Yeah, well, the that indica sativa hybrid language is very prolific in cannabis, and people use it as kind of like this crutch of like up, down, or balanced in the middle. Um, but and you see that on a lot of edible packaging, but it doesn't really mean that the final product delivers the specificity of that result. And part of that has to do with because terpenes are where a lot of that comes into play. It's like when people are picking vapes or strains of flower to smoke, that variability has a lot to do with the terpenes. Do I fall asleep? Do I feel uplifted? Am I giggly? All that kind of stuff. So they're volatile. And so in a chew process of making them, they can cook off and not really come through when you test the product at the end of the day. But we figured out a way to formulate them so that they do stay authentic throughout the product. And when you test at the end of your production, they do show up on that certificate of analysis and they're visibly there to deliver effects. And so we have a
And the way
patent.
they taste too, by the way.
Well,
There's
yeah,
no,
thank you.
when you
Yeah.
taste these, there is no thought that this is, you taste orange and you taste gummy, and that's
Which
what you
is
taste.
also like speaks to that quality thing you're talking about because terpenes themselves they come with flavor, right? So by virtue of
Mhm.
whichever terpene they are, and so
In
then
the
it can,
same way, flour has a smell that's more
yes,
Yes. Yeah.
hmm,
lemony, limey,
Yeah.
citrusy,
right.
gassy, or diesely in some cases.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
depending on what terpenes we're using, we then have to work on that formulation to make sure that they don't make the palate offensive in any way. So that's like kind of what Rebecca's speaking to and all this sort of time and energy and effort to make a high quality product. But now what I mean, I in some ways have migrated myself off of just the what I would call the regular chew format of just having a cannabinoid to really kind of being exclusively terpene chew focused because I get exactly what I want every time. It's like the uplifting ones, it's
Mhm.
like exactly what I want to feel. And there's also this nice effect in you sort of realize you don't need as much THC with the terpene chews because that effect gets you there. And then the THC is like this nice plus on it, but you're not like high. And then also because you're trying to get to a feeling, you're getting a feeling with a little bit of like the entourage effect of the high, if you will.
I never have a sleep problem, and I've kept the pineapples around so long that, quite frankly, like, because I just don't need. But when I've used the pineapple product, it
Mhm.
I go to bed, and
I feel like you
and
should
I
do the pineapple with your yoga because I love the pineapple because I get real like like it's always the time when I'm like, let me take out the foam roller, like which is
maybe
not
it's the
the
fact
number
that I'm
one good.
taking it later at night. That it would be
Mhm.
the case that, like, psychologically, like, I want to go to bed and it tastes good and it's fine and I'm going to go to bed. But
Yeah.
the yoga part for me is much more mindful. I like my mind clear, really clear, clearer than even when I'm functional to some degree, to be focused on what I'm doing because you're focused on one thing, the mat and sweating and where
Right.
you are. But it is different for everyone. And
Yeah.
that's why I love having you on. I like talking about all this because I think there is a scientific part of this. I'm a 56-year-old guy, right? Like 30 years ago, it's just flour. It's not league. Nobody knows what it is. It puts you to sleep, gives you a headache, whatever. Tainted now. Obviously, all of these fentanyl, these issues we have in society. You guys are doing something incredibly scientific that's incredibly targeted in a lot of ways. And aside from all of that, and I want to talk rewards and all of that because you've inspired me on the QR codes for what I'm trying to build with my tech service and all that. But it's not even that you have to be high or not high. This Move product is the product that I like to come back to all the time and say,
Mhm.
hey, you want an entry point for what you can go over to the cannabis, whatever your stigma might be, and say, try a product. Your back hurts, you're arthritic, you have muscle issues. This has been one of the best products, and I know I've been bragging on it all year. And here's one of the problems with you BOGO folks at Curio. I bought a two 420. Remember that sale? Remember the
Yeah.
point of sale of that? I got this. I didn't get mine till early May because you guys extended and whatnot. I haven't even gotten it out of the bag, and I use this every day. I don't know. This thing, it's like Willy Wonka. It's like the gobstopper. I don't
It's like
think
a
it's
never
going to
ending
go
gospel.
away. But talk about the Move product a little bit because I always say it's an entryway for people that don't want to smoke anything and they're offended by this or that. But they'll take Excedrin or they'll take when in the old days that stinky Bengay or my Absorbine Junior my dad would bring. I have a back issue. I have some muscle things. When you talk about yoga and me and fitness and looking as good as I look at 56 here during the holidays, this thing has saved me, especially as a sitter with a back
Yeah.
problem.
It's so funny you say the thing about the it like everlasting because when I use it and like I like how it's like you can be massaging yourself with it. I
I
like cut
crack my neck
myself.
with it when I do
Right. Because
this.
Yeah.
it's a roll on.
And
I'm
then
going to do it right
I
now because it
cut
feels
myself
nice.
off because I'm like, you're gonna waste it because you're just like you're just
Hold
massaging.
on,
You don't
hold on,
need
hold
more.
on.
I know.
I still have a
And
lot left in here.
I
Oh,
know,
this
but
is
it's like it
crazy.
never ends.
But I think that speaks to value, to your point of like it's an entry level product. We're not a brand that's seeking to just get people high. We're a brand that's trying to make products that actually complement all the ways people live and replacing OTC or prescription products with our cannabis products. So like I always go back to my husband because he's my best guinea pig. He was addicted to those like salon pause patches for problems on his back. He's a surgeon. So they're like have the menthol, they're like a sticker, you put them on, but they're a one
It's
and
like
done.
icy hot on a patch,
Yeah, yeah,
basically.
Exactly. But they're one and done and they're not inexpensive. So I've migrated him to Move where he keeps it in his bag that he keeps at his surgical desk or in his locker because it's not psychoactive. And before the surgery, if he's got an area that's bothering him, he'll rub it on there. But now I'm like, you don't have to keep buying these strips. Like you have this solution that's portable that to your point, you
It
spend
doesn't stink.
$30
It's
on
not
it.
stinky.
It's
It's a
not
little
sticky.
bit tacky, but not even in a weird way
And
for
after about
yoga.
30 seconds, it
It's
it like
tacky enough to let me
the
know it's on
wetness.
there, and
right.
then I
Yeah.
feel it. I feel shouldn't say this after we talked about the O product and all that. I sometimes my hips get tight from sitting, and when I
Mhm.
put it right into my hips, I
Mhm.
feel like a tingle about it, almost in the way that when it heats up a little bit,
Yeah.
like that weird stuff at Spencer's, you'd blow on and it would tingle, back. But it has a tingle about it a little bit, and I feel that you talk about efficacy all the time. I love that word, by
Mhm.
the way. I feel it working. I mean, I feel
Yeah.
the effectiveness of it.
Well, and that's great because we're not trying to price gouge people where something that like that, how long did that take us to formulate? Like 3 months, over 3 months, because we had different formulas, we had people use it, give us their feedback. So there's a lot of R&D time and expense that goes into that, but we still sell it for $36. And in your case, like you might spend $72 for the entire year on two jars.
I
And
have
so there's a
two, and I'm
great,
in month 7. I mean, like
right,
right now,
there's
for real.
great
And
value in
I'm
it.
worried about this going bad before I like,
It's not gonna.
I got to open it again.
You could just go like two-handed, like do
Yeah.
this
Listen,
type of
this is just
thing.
like Saks, and I'll be honest. I bought these last year. They got nothing from me Black Friday. I didn't buy anything this year. So I don't
I didn't
know,
know
but
they can't.
your stuff
Is
is
that a
like
bathing suit?
lasting. Yeah, it's a bathing suit. It's
I
it's
didn't know
it's
they made
yoga.
out. Now I need
Suit.
all, I got a whole
It's a
nother line
it's
of
a bathing
stuff I
suit.
gotta
I
buy. I
thought it
didn't
was
know
just
they.
Oh
underwear.
no, this is the oh boy. And these are pink, so they're funny. But they come in weird. I've worn these all summer. Every Sammy Hagar show I wore these this summer because it's 125 degrees and all my shirts go
Okay.
with it. But they look like shorts, but they have like a special anyway,
They're
that's
comfortable.
that's God, sex and Saks and Curio One. We're getting everything in here except rewards. And I have to tell you guys, the whole BOGO thing, I'm in, I'm coming, you reel me in. I got to the store
Well,
and they
wait.
said to me, you have all of these points. You have to use these points by the end of the year. So we're up on that. And then there's the Lucid ID, like
Mhm.
actually, and I haven't done that yet with the purchases I've made, that you guys have a really cool, aggressive, and really new. We weren't talking about
Mhm.
this last year. That if you're not using the points for everybody that ever comes in the stores, you should be using your points because it's created a lot of value here for me the last couple of weeks. I came in and I'm like, wow, you guys are nicer to me than Southwest Airlines or Marriott. I'll say that right away.
Well, that's huge.
Yeah.
We
Well, they're
don't have a
jerks.
companion purchase
Yeah.
program though, just so you know.
We're
Well,
working on that.
with the
You have an
Curio
O product. That's better than any companion pass. I
with
promise you.
the with the Curio rewards, which was really Wendy's brainchild, because the weird thing about cannabis is that everything exists like in its own footprint. So Foreign Daughter has its own rewards program. Then if I go and shop at Starbucks in Bel Air, it has its own rewards program, and so on and so forth. So you get people having like multiple point systems that they have to keep track of depending on the neighborhood they were in when they made their last purchase. So we wanted to incentivize people to just choose Curio wherever they went. So when you have the QR code on the back of a Curio pouch, and it's any product that we manufacture, so caviar, Dixie, Happy Eddie, Flower by Edie Parker,
Well, the
Fuse.
QR code thing's unbelievable because if you hit it, you'll get your points and you feel nice about that. If you hit it and you've
Exactly.
already hit it, it pulls up the strain and can read a little bit. And there's just so much. And I love having you all on, but there's so much education to be done for folks because it's
Mhm.
not an inexpensive product, as you've said. Like, I pick it up. What is it? How long is it going to last? And then it freaking works for what it says it's going to do. And then you feel the value of it. But the notion that there are points involved in this, and I came in, and honestly, I've had points before. I never really thought about it. I don't bring it up, but someone brought it up with me with your BOGO deal 2 weeks ago, and I had a lot of points, and it really added up, and I don't know what I've even spent, but it's very generous, and I think if people come in and find out, they're feeling that now, especially at the
Right.
holidays. I feel like, hey, you guys like threw me a stocking stuffer here at the end of the year. It's kind of nice.
Yeah. And with the Curio rewards points, we're launching a big, exciting initiative where when you have the points in your wallet, you go into your Lucid ID app and it says, stash cabinet and rewards. When you redeem your rewards for your points for something, every time you make a redemption, so it could be a $25 gift card to be used at Foreign Daughter, it could be a Curio Wellness vape pen, a grinder. And then we have all new merch launching at the beginning of January that's like Yetis and beach towels and just really cool branded items. Every time you redeem your points for something, you'll get entered into a contest to win 2 tickets to Dead and Company at the Sphere in May of 2025.
I want to
So
win. How many points I need? Let's go. I got a lot of points. I'm ready to
it's
bid.
not about having, it's
Come
how
on.
many times you redeem
Redeem.
your points. So if you had 2,000 points and a
All right, hold on.
$25
Let's
gift
just
card is,
pretend, for instance, that I had 1,299 Curio Wellness Bud points. Let's pretend I have that many.
and so if you took those points and you redeemed them on 5 different prizes, you would get 5 different entries. Every time you redeem your points for something, it counts as one entry.
It would look fixed if I win, so I'm not going to enter. But I would try. I would
And
try.
so the winner will get 2 tickets to the Sphere, a gift card for airfare, to Las Vegas and 2 nights at a Las Vegas hotel, as well as some spending cash. So we're
On
setting
our
up
next show, we're
really
going to
great
argue
weekend.
about whether we go sativa or whether we go hybrid or indica at a Sphere Dead show in Las Vegas. I don't know. It depends where you're
I
sitting.
went mango terp too.
I went
Yeah.
mango terps too.
I went to you too. I didn't need anything. I was already flying when I walked in there. Wendy
Yeah.
Bronfein is here. Rebecca Bronfein is here. They are the Bronfein sisters. Rare that they're in the same room. Like Elton John and Bernie Taupin. Rare that they're in the same room together,
Wow.
writing the
Really
songs.
high
At some point,
praise.
we'll get your dad on as well. And I always say to folks, and I had Gina Shock on last week, and we went out and ran about acting like fools, so like Dundalk idiots, going out to run around with the Black Crows. But that piece we did last year with your dad and Gina, just talking about arthritis and her playing. I had her out last week at Costa's, and she is literally every single day, and you can tell your dad, who is an accomplished drummer as well, she's playing the entire set every day for the next 4 months to get ready for Coachella. And, she said everybody in the band is obsessed with sounding as good, looking as good, being as good as they can. And they're all older and they're all, a little further along on recovery and all of these things. And it's products like this that have really come a long way. And I know it's something for your dad. And he's not here to tell the story, but it's the holidays. And I want you to tell the story about your family, either one of you or both, about your dad, about pharmacies, about traditional drugs, and where your dad has been with his GI product that I don't have the hold up, but it comes in a little thing like my wife's good nights. But it was really the basis of why your family got involved in this business, right?
Yeah.
I'll give
So,
it to you.
yeah, so his background was in pharma distribution, and did that for over 30 years. And so when the medical program came along in Maryland, it was sort of an offshoot of that, in that it was a way to offer people solutions when pharma wasn't the right fit, in a place where there was a level of affordability to the products, and there was an efficacy of the products that also was limited the side effects that were coming off of pharma, right? Because pharma had gotten to this place where, yes, you might have something that you take, but then now are you taking something for the side effects of the thing that you had to take
God,
to
I
help
hear
the
the
person?
side effects on these football games, and it's like death. And I'm like, okay, stop right
Right,
there.
right.
Yeah, right, literally, right? It's like a
Yeah,
Cat Williams skit, but like literally when I see make us internal bleeding, and I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's not happening over foreign daughter. Don't drive, don't do anything stupid, but most those things aren't going to happen. And I think for your dad, he had an issue, right? And I mean, we
yeah.
talked at length, and if you want to Google it, just put his name in, put Curio in. You can find it underneath of Wendy's pretty picture on the front of Baltimore Positive as well with Gina, because she was amazed to hear it. And I still think it's one of the really great pieces I did last year. Not just because it was a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer hanging out, because I think it really speaks to the science of what you guys are doing over there. That's a lot different than 420 and Cheech and Chong.
Yeah. Well, our grandmother, his mother had Crohn's, and then went on a biologic for that, which a side effect of those can be getting lymphoma, which she did, and then she ultimately passed away from that. So he has Crohn's as well, and he's not been willing to deal with a biologic to help treat it, but his now retired but former gastroenterologist believed that cannabinoids could be useful. And so he partnered with our scientific advisory board to develop a formula that could help address this. And at first, the SAB came back and said, we need like $100,000 for an animal study to validate its safety. And he was like, well, we're a cannabis company, so we don't have money like that. So I'm your animal. And if you kill me, that's your problem. So he was on it for a year before we ever commercialized it. But it basically put his Crohn's into like so what you call like a state of remission, right? So there's an index score that can speak to how bad your inflammation is. His was very high. It was in the 200s, really over 50, I believe, is a state of inflammation. And he's never been above a 50 since then, and has a much better quality of life. Probably eats things he shouldn't in general because of Crohn's, but because he feels like the medicine allows him to do that. But he does not have like the implications of the symptoms of Crohn's in his general life while on this. And so we've had it in the market for a while. And now right in the new year, we've partnered with Gastro Health, which is a Maryland-based gastroenterology practice, and we're doing an IRB approved study where we'll actually be taking a Crohn's form, 3 different formulas, and it's a placebo-controlled trial to take this product to like the next stage to validate it.
And
Well,
to add detail to that, the importance of having an IRB, which stands for Independent Review Board, is that when physicians are recommending different medications, different practices to their patients, they're taught in medical school throughout their clinical years, throughout their fellowships, et cetera, that there are certain checks that you need in order to trust that something is efficacious and safe for their patients. And having products go through an IRB study and have a paper published, which goes into a journal, that's just this system in our medical and our healthcare system in the States that exists. So one of the biggest hurdles we have as a cannabis company that's seeking to develop legitimate products and get the backing or the endorsement of physicians is that we kept running into this roadblock of, well, did you do an independent study? Did you have an IRB? Did you get a paper published, et cetera? And it's taken 3 years to get this GI Comfort tablet through those, basically through those roadblocks, past those hurdles, so that we can deliver results in the language that physicians understand and respect. Because the best state would be that those gastroenterologists go to their patients and say, you can buy this prescription that would cost you thousands of dollars a month, or you can go to Far and Daughter and buy Curio's GI product called Comfort that will cost you $60 for a 30-day supply, and you'll achieve those either best state, that remission, or just relief from the symptoms that you feel every day. But we have to be able to get the results in the language that they speak and the language they respect.
I like talking sales and we have a good time talking about it in concerts and whatnot, but the science of it and the fact that since Nixon has not really been studied, and it does feel like there's a race to figure out what the plant could do and how it could be effective in other ways than just the way you feel it coming on. And I appreciate the ongoing conversation. We're just starting. We're a year and a half into adult use, which allows our friends at Curio Wellness to come on and sponsor things like our 26th anniversary around here, and 26 oysters in 26 days, and all of those fun things. And we have these educational chats from time to time. We mix in a little rock and roll. Sometimes we even mix in some football, but there's been plenty of that this week. We'll have plenty of that next week as well. I hope you guys have a great holiday. I hope you have a great new year. I'm appreciative of the sales and the QR codes and all the extra bonus points I've had here. Is there any thought? I mean, we're going to have to use these points by the end of the year. We're not going to move those into next year.
Correct. The store level points, the Far and Daughter points expire at the end of the year. So
I better
you
hurry.
want to use them up. And also I think just a shameless plug for the curbside in Timonium. I know they have some special, my husband did curbside the other day and he got a Kirschmeyer chocolate, saw something with there's some like caramel popcorn. There's always like a little extra surprise that has nothing to do with cannabis, just something fun.
And the average transaction time at curbside is like 3 minutes and 49 seconds. So it's really fast. If you're pressed for time, place your pre-order for Far and Daughter and Timonium, pull in on Aylesbury, and you're like in and out of
I
there.
haven't done that yet.
You
I'm old
should.
school.
He
I'm old
likes to
school.
talk to people.
Oh,
What are
yeah.
you gonna do if he stays in his car?
You could talk to the person that comes to your window to get your license and, help you try
See,
it.
when I do all that, I don't come in and get Amy's personal attention and, talk
This is
about
true.
things. I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
sometimes that happens. So, and I
Yeah.
don't mind, I mean, like your waiting room is interesting to me. First off, I discovered there was free water. I didn't know that. So now I can hydrate
Trying to
while
keep
I'm
people
there as
hydrated.
well. I did not know that. But you
Yeah.
have all sorts of trinkets. We talked about that last week, and Maryland-based stuff, and the token Jew thing's kind of funny. So,
Yeah.
makes me laugh.
Well, in the new year, we have a new dispensary opening in Pikesville, and it'll have a full token Jew section of merchandise.
You got another dispensary opening?
We
Oh.
do.
See
We do.
this? It's like a Dallas Cliff. It's like a Who Shot JR at the end of the year. You just drop that in on me. I have something else to drop. One of my great long-term sponsors called me Sundays, text me, said, we got to talk. And I'm like, what's up? And I was worried. He's like, we're adding a second location. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to say who, but it's in Timonium. And they're a Dundalk-based business. That's all I'm going to say. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Clinchmas, New Year's, Purple Festivus, whatever you're celebrating this week, celebrate responsibly. And if your family's involved, my God, do something. Get some help. Hang in there. Get through the dessert, and at least get through the Ravens game. Thanks for coming on together as a duo. Appreciate you guys.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Nestor. Happy holidays.
Rebecca Bronfein, Wendy Bronfein, the chief brand officer, and I don't chief is it finance? What I want to
Chief revenue.
revenue with the R and B, our chief cannabis officers, the
I like
sisters
that.
of O Love and of terpene infused chews, and BOGO. Don't forget BOGO. I just figured out what YOLO meant a few years ago. Now I got BOGO. BOGO's better though. I like buy one get one free. I am Nestor. We are WNST AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. And if you hear a bunch of music conversations going on here during the holidays, it's not that I'm lazy. It's just because it's New Year's week and it's been a lot of fun to unearth some old stuff. We're Baltimore positive. Stay with us.